Welcome back to Grid Drop. Today we're going to help you get faster around F1's most demanding and most unforgiving track, Monaco. Feel free to leave any feedback or questions in the comment section or in my Discord, which is linked in the description. That being said, let's get right into it. This video will be broken down into 5 sections: car setup, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and finally a full lap. These sections are equally important, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you really want to improve. So just pretty quickly here, we're going to go over my personal car setup that I use every time I'm racing in Monaco on F1 23. You can pause the video at any point in here if you want to copy down any part of this setup, but overall the setup keeps you pretty stable on some of the rougher curbs. It allows for more slow speed rotation through the slower corners, which is very important, and it has the maximum amount of downforce, which is also very important around Monaco. So I recommend playing around with your setup, but this is a pretty good baseline to start with. Turn 1 at Monaco is very difficult in my opinion, and a good exit is very important to set you up nicely onto the uphill section. Into turn 1, you should be braking right around the 65 meter mark or just before this big white board overhead. Once under braking, aim the left side of your car to where the guardrail bumps out. Once you reach this bump out, that's where you should start turning into the corner. It's important to keep your eyes focused on corner exit here, as an imperfect exit can oftentimes end up with you in the wall. It's also important to note that you can be pretty aggressive with the throttle upon exiting the corner, and you can increase your throttle rather quickly without risking a spin. The uphill section is quite easy, but the long left-hander into the casino is very technical, and there are a few different lines you can take to the corner. I find the most effective is using the left wall as a double apex. Stick close to the red and white curb on the ground, and then stick to your line. As you stay on your line, the second corner apex comes up, and at this point you should lightly tap the brakes and turn into the corner. Try to get as close to the wall on the right side as you possibly can. It's very important to watch your throttle here, as it's very easy to spin due to how uneven the road is. So that's the end of Sector 1, now let's take a look at the entire sector at full speed. Once you pass the casino, quickly pull to the right on the straight to avoid the large bump on the left side of the track. Going over the bump can destabilize your car and make it more likely to lock up into the next corner. Into this next right-hander, you want to brake just before this yellow board on the left, and it's important to trail brake immediately, as too long at full brake pressure will lock up the fronts. Turning in here is simple, just stick as close as you can to the right-hand wall. On exit, you want a medium speed on your throttle input, and focus aiming your left tire towards the left wall to use the entire width of the track. Into the hairpin, brake around the first Aramco sign on the right, and shift down to first gear. From here, lock your wheel all the way left and try to mount the curb with your front left tire. This gets you through the hairpin with a better opportunity for stability on the exit. When exiting the hairpin, be very careful on the throttle, as it's very easy to spin or snap with wheel spin. From here, you want to slowly pull the car left and have a smooth, sweeping turn into the right-hander. A light tap of the brakes will have you set up for the next corner perfectly, and you should try to mount the curb. Once exiting the curb, stick to the left wall and do the same thing as last corner, a light tap of the brakes and a sweeping right-hand turn. On exit, try to stick close to the left-hand wall. You can be more aggressive with the throttle once looking towards the tunnel, and stomping on the gas really isn't too risky. Once in the tunnel, stick to the left-hand side until it dips down on the right. The racing line through here is to pull your car into that dip and then exit on the left-hand side. After exiting the tunnel, stick close to the right wall and look for the 100 meter board. This is your braking point into the chicane. Once you hit this point, slam on the brakes and get ready to turn in. It's important to be close to the left-hand side here, but be careful about being too close. If you're too close, you can catch your left rear on the corner and spin out. Once entering the chicane, cut the first curb. Track limits are very forgiving for this curb specifically, so try to drive over the middle, with the yellow raised curb going between your tires. On exit, try to keep the car close to the left-hand wall. Aggressive throttle input is also okay here, as long as you have enough traction to avoid lots of wheel spin. So here's a look at Sector 2 at full speed. Sector 3 in Monaco is probably my favorite part of any track. The upcoming left-hander is quite difficult to get right, but nailing it feels so good. When approaching the corner, you want to turn in just after the 50-meter board on the right. Keep as close as you possibly can to the left-hand wall, and you want to lightly brake and downshift 1 or 2 gears. On exit, slowly apply the throttle again and keep your steering angle consistent and smooth. You want to be close to the right-hand wall now, but again, keep your angle consistent as the next corner is very important. Into the swimming pool section, you want to hit both the left and right side curbs. In this year's game, these curbs are forgiving and won't instantly throw you off balance. Once at the swimming pool, stick to the left-hand wall and get ready to turn into the quick right and left-hander. You want to input medium brake pressure once you reach this bush on the left-hand side, and then turn in immediately. Keep your car as close as you possibly can to the right-hand wall. Once mid-corner, quickly switch left and aim your front left towards the yellow raised curb. Ideally, you don't want to hit this curb, but doing it won't be too risky. Once at this curb, focus on your exit. Look towards the wall on the right side and try to stick close to it. The next corner is a bit tricky in terms of braking. As soon as the car is straightened out, that's when you brake, just before the Aramco board. You don't want full brake pressure as it's very, very easy to lock up here. Instead, brake about 80% and then go about your trail braking. When entering the corner, it's best to give yourself some space to the first right-hand wall and instead focus on sticking close to the second right-hander. This allows for more space on corner exit. When exiting the corner, be careful on throttle as it's very easy to spin. Into the next corner, lightly tap the brakes and aim your front right towards that yellow wall. Stick as close as you can to this corner. Once through this last section, just put the power down. Now let's see a full speed Sector 3. So now let's put all these sectors together and watch a full speed lap around Monaco. So there you have it, a full lap of Monaco broken down corner by corner and sector by sector. So if you have any questions or need any more tips, feel free to leave a comment on this video or in my Discord, which again is linked in the description. Also, let me know if you want to see more track guides, and if so, which ones would you want to see. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.